On the continent of Corvin, a chance encounter brought 4 intrepid travelers together on the road to adventure. Though they began as strangers, they soon became known as the Hero Squad.
All right. Billy, uppies. Okay. So, to summarize kind of the end of what happened last time, y'all went through the cave, kind of goblin area, the kind of camp there. You made it through the end. You fought these guys. You freed this dude, Reuven, and y'all essentially he said he would kind of try and help y'all go forward wherever you need to go, as long as you help him get back to his home, his people. So y'all started to go on your journey. You found yourselves getting into these corridors that were that were clearly constructed rather than cavernous. And so as you went down this hallway, Corvin not being able to see, there were suddenly, you were being chased by these gelatinous cubes, known to be within these dungeons, kind of roaming slowly, picking up any of the stuff that falls along the ground. So you ran towards an opening, and you fell out into this kind of mushroom-filled area, and the cube seemed to no longer be interested and kind of backed up into that tunnel.
Okay, so the cube has retreated back into the tunnel.
The cube has retreated back into the tunnel because it's up above you, right? It's up probably like 2 stories. So you guys fell, but you landed on kind of like, mushrooms and stuff, so it kind of protected your fall. So, to describe the scene of where you are, you're in a roughly, let's say, 40 foot diameter, kind of circular stone area, right? Kind of like surrounds you, this cavern. And then the roof goes up probably about 6-7 stories. I say roof, just like the top of the cave, because it's clearly just kind of cavernous. All around you, you see mushrooms, there's definitely huge mushrooms, almost like tree-like, kind of coming out of the ground here and there. Just a handful of them because of the size of the room. But you also see some kind of crawling up the side of the walls. You see mosses and things that also are climbing up towards the top. It's a pretty nature-filled area, almost. You also notice, at the very, very top, there are some... there's some moss and some fungus that kind of like comes together and forms like a little web. And you notice some like water kind of slowly dripping from there. You also notice actually coming through some cracks in the walls that there's sort of water kind of almost like seeping out of the walls and kind of coming down there. And there's like a little stream that actually heads down further into this cavernous zone.
Okay.
So I talked to y'all about this just before. Y'all kind of looked around. You felt like you were in a safe spot. You were all incredibly exhausted, so you took a long rest, and now you awake in this area. And let's see where y'all think you should go, what y'all think you should do next.
All right. I exit my taco hut.
How dark is it?
In here, up from that little window, there's like a tiny bit of light that seeps in, and then there are some glowing fungi. So in this area, Corvin can see.
Okay.
It's like low light, but you can see. Yeah.
And I guess I maybe now that we've rested, I'm like, I maybe turn to Reuven and say, oh my god, I feel so much better. Where are we? Is this the Underdark, Reuven?
Yeah. I assume we're in some old fortress or dungeon or something. There's tons of them all over the place here, and they're kind of... Some of them are abandoned and worn down. Some of them are still used. This one seems like it's pretty overgrown, but, judging by the tunnel we came in through, I'm assuming there's going to be more corridors and things like that. So, yeah, we're probably in some old dungeon.
Okay. These mushrooms, they make for good eating?
Some. Be very careful.
Corvin just kind of like starts taking small glances at some of the smaller mushrooms around the larger ones, giving them a little sniff.
Okay, roll Constitution.
Okay.
You should not be sniffing ash.
Can't tell me what to do. Let's see here. Roll D20. Or no, sorry, roll Constitution, you said. Go. It's a 2?
A 2?
Good job.
Okay. So, you sort of like lurch back from this thing that you just smelled, and you're kind of like looking all over the place frantically, and you are actually beginning to hallucinate. So
Do I recognize that I'm hallucinating, or is it all just real to me?
For this moment, it's real.
Okay.
And then we'll see what happens next.
Okay.
So what you see is that as you're kind of looking around, you're starting to see essentially illogical geometry. It's like you're inside of an M.C. Escher painting. So it's kind of like mixed in with the reality. So like you'll see the mushrooms, but then as you look at a mushroom, the stairs start to appear upside down, and you can see that they're twisting. And as you're kind of backing up, you feel like you're twisting with it.
Totally. So here's what I do. As if I was just knelt down to smell this mushroom and I'm looking around and I notice the different staircases and unusual geometry, I lay down on the floor sideways. I attempt to start walking up a staircase while I'm laying down sideways.
Okay. So y'all see Corvin like lurch back from this mushroom. You see him like look all around, horrified, and then you see him lay down on his side and start kicking his legs back and forth.
Oh my gosh.
I walk over to Corvin. I kind of nudge him. I tap him with my foot. I'm like, are you okay?
I think I'm okay.
No, you don't hear that, okay? So, you're doing this kind of thing where you
perceive Christina?
what you perceive like walks towards you in a humanoid shape, but I don't know if you remember in Doctor Strange, the first one, Dormammu, how his face kind of like ripples around. Yeah, so that's what you see, is you see this like almost faceless creature kind of doing that, and instead of hearing what she's saying, you just hear these like so it's like Christopher Nolan sounds.
Being that I do not recognize this creature and do not speak its wait, I'm trying to remember if I have anything that would allow me to. I don't think Corvin does, actually. I respond back and just go,
So y'all hear that?
I turn around. I look at both Cherry and
Ravo's there too. Reuven and Ravo.
I was like, it's not Reuven, it's Ravo, and I'm like, what the fuck? Is he okay?
Cherry's actually sleeping in, so
okay.
So
well, then I look at Ruvo, and I'm like, what the hell?
So you hear, like you said, Ruvo. That's just like, that's the duo of both of them.
Oh, sorry, Ravio. Ravo. I gotta remember his name, Ravo. Jeez, it's been so long.
Me, Ravio. Okay, sorry, Cherry, what are you doing?
Oh yeah, so Cherry, upon hearing Corvin make weird noises, like they're basically how they went to sleep is they created like a little like blanket out of moss and they were all tucked into it. So it's like a very elegant like wake up scene of like the moss blanket comes off and like she's like sleeping in beauty and like does a big yawn.
Sparkles kind of all around.
There's
little flower petals. Yeah.
And then they're like, what's happening?
Corvin?
So yeah, you look out, you heard the pwom,
Yeah.
that's kind of what woke you up, and you see him on the ground, feet going back and forth, making Christopher
Price.
Nolan sounds.
I've made it to the top of my imaginary staircase. I'd like to now make a jump over the ledge that I perceive. Can I roll for acrobatics?
Absolutely.
All right. So I say out loud, okay, I'm going to need a running jump for this one.
Okay. What you guys hear is
Of course, you're still- I love that you're rolling super low right now because it makes sense.
So what'd you roll?
I rolled a 4. I swear to God. Here's my effing thing about this effing season of Hero Squad is I went into this season with the full intent of Corvin being a very serious dude, and he has very quickly had to become the comic relief because of my rolls.
I am sorry. It's like we'll get you into a situation at some point that benefits you.
It is
But
fun.
in this moment, it's not that. So you do manage to somehow like stand up, like you basically like turned sideways to you. So you are standing up. And so you run and do a leap and you land on a mushroom and kind of like sink into it a little bit.
Oh.
And so now you think that like you are now falling into
I'm
a
like-
sort of mucky ink.
Okay.
And the ink is starting to form like words all around you of all of the things and cases that you haven't been able to close in the past. So it's all these things that haunt you are floating all around you.
Okay, all right. Oh no, I never found that necklace. Oh my God. The case of the missing sandwich, no. Oh no.
So y'all just hear him like screeching. But it's more like,
Is he injured? Is he hurt?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure what happened. He may have fallen on his head when we crashed through.
Oh.
Honestly, this is an improvement.
Is it though? He's not even. He's like sideways. I don't think he can fight that way.
I mean,
Should we just leave him here? Will he get better?
I think he's gonna die if we leave him here. We should probably take him with
yeah.
us. What did he get into though? I go and like, examine the mushrooms that he like sniffed.
okay, roll a constitution as you approach.
Like I'm being careful.
Yeah, the thing is, like, you can't see these spores,
Oh, yeah.
so you at this point they've actually filled up a pretty large area. So
Can I like put my arm out to stop Christina before she goes over there?
So you roll a dexterity.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll roll dexterity.
Oh, what happened?
Wait, what is that?
Oh, whoops. I think I might have pressed the wrong. I was trying to go back to the chat and I sent a spell to the game log.
You got a 19 on your dex check.
Oh, did I? Good, because it's still rolling for me.
19.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's above the detect poison disease
Gotcha.
roll.
Yeah, you, of course, with your ability to kind of speak with the plants and kind of like communicate with them in all of the different ways, you can clearly see like the extent of the spore cloud. And you know what these spores do. So you kind of reach out and do the whole stopping Christina thing. And yeah, you're remembering exactly like what these spores are and kind of how they work and everything like that.
Is it technically poison?
Not poison in like the sense, because like poison, biological whatever, but more it's like a hallucinogenic, right? So it's more just something that kind of gets into the bloodstream rather than like
Okay.
poison.
So I, after stopping Christina, I say, don't go over there. You'll end up like him, and that's not gonna be good.
Oh.
And then, yeah, there's like all these spores in the air. I can see them. They're not friendly spores. So
Do I just have to inhale it?
yeah.
It's just through inhalation, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, if it gets on your skin too, like that'll be itchy. You might have a rash, but yeah, if you inhale it, it's not good.
Because, I'm thinking if what that did to him, and I point to Corvin, that might be a way of protecting ourselves down here if we run into more trouble.
Oh, like using the spores against people that are trying to hurt us?
Mm-hmm. Because
Oh,
all it's
okay.
going to do is just stop them, and then it's going to do what they're doing to Corvin. And I point at Corvin again, and obviously,
Well,
Oh,
I don't know
man.
how to gather them. Maybe if we have some bottles?
I mean, we can probably find some sticks, and we can, put them in a bag, and I'm,
You're thinking like a s'more mushroom? What are you talking about?
No, I'm thinking of, obviously, if there's spores, we could just toss it into a bag.
Do you have a spore bag?
Spore bag. Don't you? Everybody's got one.
Yeah.
I mean, I got, clothes. I could wrap
When
it
I
in,
heard the
clothes.
stick,
I mean, yeah,
I just
you-
thought of, a little mushroom on a stick, and you wave it around.
No,
Yeah.
we could just chuck it in a cloth and use it as a bomb later. We could just toss it down the hallway.
Spore bomb.
Yeah, spore bomb.
Spore bomb. Spore bomb.
We just have to make sure that we didn't jostle it while we're traveling.
Well, if we
Oh.
wrap it up tight enough, it shouldn't.
Yeah, but those can go through cloth.
How about two
Or
cloth?
it'll decay the cloth or something.
Well, let's figure out a plan for that, but in the meantime, I guess I better take care of Corvin.
Ah!
And Cherry leans down and touches Corvin, right on his bird forehead, and casts lesser restoration.
Okay. So yeah, as you cast it, Corvin seems to kind of calm down. It seems like you're kind of purging the toxins from his body. So Corvin, you experience, you were sunk into the mushroom to an infinite depth as you saw all of your greatest anxieties put out before you. And now you slowly are being lifted up towards a nice, calm blue light as you realize that you are no longer stuck inside this pit. You are actually laying on top of a giant mushroom head. Oh, wow. Did you see that?
Where's the staircase?
There's mosquitoes coming in everywhere.
Where's the staircase? Where's the missing sandwich? What?
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 Cherry,
What?
how'd you get here?
You inhaled some spores.
Why am I on
and-
top of this mushroom?
Because you inhaled the spores in the mushroom and they made you see things.
So I wasn't just sinking into a deep pit of... You know what? Never mind. Okay.
No, you were actually on your side trying to walk. It was actually sort of funny, and you were making these weird noises with your mouth. I'd
Yeah.
never heard them before.
I didn't...
Corvin, as you look around, you see your feathers kind of scattered in a little trail everywhere.
It was
Oh.
quite embarrassing, actually.
Well, I'm sure that the jump must have looked quite impressive, judging by...
No, you sort of fell face first into the...
I start
Wow.
collecting my feathers.
But don't worry, there was only 4 of us who saw it, so... that's not a lot of people.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. You snapped me out of this mushroom. Which mushrooms did this to me? Those ones?
Those ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't go over there.
I won't.
The bright pink ones.
Okay. So there's not staircases. Got it.
Yeah, but Christina had a really good idea saying that we could use these mushroom spores against our enemies if we get attacked. The only thing I wonder, if they live down here, would they be immune to it? Because they're surrounded by it all the time.
I mean,
The only enemy that we've seen so far are spiders and cubes. And I'll be honest, I don't know if the cubes even breathe.
Wouldn't Ryuven know? Ryuven, what do you think about the spores? Are you immune to these?
No. We kind of avoid them mostly. There's some people who gather them recreationally. But no, we are not immune.
We just met, and we're still, getting to know one another, but typically when anyone asks, really, if they're good to eat, I would lead with the idea that you don't want to even get near or breathe those ones.
Yeah, sorry, I meant to. But I forgot.
Next time.
I'm so used to it, like it's just kind of background.
Also, Corvin, when have you ever listened to anybody?
I'm sorry, what?
That's what I thought.
Okay. So you're basically where you started.
All right, so Reaver, we still need to get you home, right?
Yeah.
Do you know where that is from here?
Down?
Oh, so we still need to go even further down than here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know this place though, so
what as we observe, how many like I guess entrances, exits do we see around here?
There's no explicit doors or big caves or anything like that, but you do see that the little stream that's from all the water that's kind of seeping in and everything like that, it does go kind of a downhill, and you can see that there's a little opening where the water goes through that you could probably all get through. It's a little tight, but you could probably get through.
Also, I haven't asked about the hippogriff in a bit. Is Ravo's hippogriff still around?
No, he sent him away a while back.
All right.
No, that would be difficult.
I was gonna say, yeah.
It's just crawling through everything.
All right.
Okay.
Cherry starts gathering the mushrooms. Apparently, I'm immune to poison and disease, so that's great.
Yep.
I'll take some of these mushrooms and I'll walk a little bit behind so no one accidentally inhales them.
Okay, don't walk sideways. All right.
Well, I'll be fine.
I offer Cherry some cloth in my bag. I was like, we could wrap them up in these to make sure that they don't, the spores don't escape.
Yeah, I'll use that.
Cherry graciously takes the rags and forms a little bag, and then picks some of the hand size mushrooms, and then puts them in their bag so they're a good size.
All right. So you've got some of these, let's say 6.
Okay.
6 of those hand-sized mushrooms that are
6
hallucinogenic.
mushroom flashbangs.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, so we've got this stream here. It seems to be running downhill. Any Ryuven, if I step into that, am I gonna see the future? Anything like that?
No, that's not covered in poison or disease.
Yeah, the thing you got to look out for is obviously all of those dangerous plants, or I guess fungus.
Fun guy, actually.
Can you talk to them? They're not actually plants, but you can.
Yeah,
He's looking at Cherry.
I can talk to them. They're very friendly.
Well, that's neat. Anyway, you got to look out for those and other traps and whatnot, because this is some kind of old ruins of a dungeon or something, and those are notorious for having, dangerous things. So just keep your eyes out.
Okay.
Are any of these glowing mushrooms?
You can't see very well, can you?
That's what I was thinking. Are any of these glowing mushrooms safe to handle? I look at Reuben and Cherry.
Do you want me to roll for that?
No. You would know that they are. There are some that you can grab.
When I pick them, do they stay glowing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got little glow sticks.
Yeah, so, I look at Cherry and I'm like,
Stick rave.
these are safe to handle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those yellow polka dot ones are.
Yeah, okay. You know what? I think because he can't see, and I point to Corvin, we should just get a couple of these for him, like a little flashlight.
Oh, yeah.
Because he could use a torch
It's
down
like
here.
my
torch,
hazard, my hazard chest.
Yeah.
So
I-
Cherry, oh, no, you go.
No, I look at Cherry and I'm like, I'm gonna grab a couple of these. You want to help me? So I start picking them off the wall.
Yeah. So Cherry, whispers something to their staff, and, a little part of their wooden staff, breaks off. And as Christina and Cherry are picking, Cherry takes a couple of, the mushrooms and, basically makes a s'more out of it, like we were saying, and then hands it to Corvin.
Okay. Corvin, you now got the smorch.
I've got a smorch. I'm curious if I take one of those, do they float in the water?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
So I look down to where the water's flowing, and I'm assuming since it's a cave, I can't see very far. Maybe I don't necessarily know what's up ahead if I was to just go down this creek. So I take one of these yellow mushrooms, and I cast Find Familiar, and I summon Bagsby back to me.
Oh no!
All right. So
I hold him up. I'm
a
like,
tiny rattling of bones as an adorable little cat kind of
hey, bud. It's been a
wakes
minute.
itself up, does the arching of the back and the stretch and the yawn, and then kind of looks up at you.
Hey, bud. It's been a little bit. I pick him up. I put him on top of the floating yellow mushroom.
Okay, so it's doing that cat
Yep,
thing where it's kind of
and I just sort of nudge him down the creek. I just need you to see what's down there a little bit, buddy.
okay.
Corvin, what are you doing to Bagsby? Where's he going?
He's done this a million times before.
Yeah, Bagsby is just
Was
Slowing down.
Bagsby
Obviously-
living when you first got him?
I mean, who can tell? That was so long ago.
no comment.
Are we just
okay.
trying to find where we should go next?
I think we should follow Bagsby at this point. Bagsby's leading the way.
But Bagsby doesn't know where he's going, right? We're trying to find
just
out
going
where
down
we're going.
creek. We're following the water flowing.
Oh, so you're just following Bagsby?
I'm going to follow Bagsby.
Okay.
I look at Reuven. I'm like, is that even safe to do?
Nothing down here is safe to do.
Yeah, basically, you you yell that.
We just fought 19 million spiders, a giant half orc, half other thing, and then a gelatinous cube chased this wall, also absorbing a bunch of armor, and now I can't even smell the mushrooms. So
You have made nothing but bad choices since you showed up. I think you should not be leading this expedition.
listen, my first bad choice was even meeting you. All right, but
I
hey,
agree. Why are you even trying? Why did you even want to meet me?
justice.
Oh my god.
While these two are fighting, Cherry leans over to Reuven and
Do you think we're at least close to your home?
Not very.
Okay, well, when you think we are, I can talk to the mushrooms and they'll guide us there.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would work. Yeah.
So is Corvin gone now? Did he?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're following?
I'm following. I'm keeping
Bagsby?
Bagsby just within my sights, giving him a little range in case something blows up.
So then, what about y'all other two? Are y'all following? Are
I
y'all
look at Ruva and I'm like, he's gonna kill himself.
maybe
Yeah.
better him than us, though. You know.
I agree, but I don't feel good about just letting him die like that.
Yeah. No, it'd be better if he didn't.
Yeah.
So. Okay. Should we go?
I guess we'll follow him.
Ah, sorry,
So then,
spore
yeah.
hiccup.
Okay. So, Corvin, you are following behind Bagsby. He's at a good distance ahead of you. You're in this, kind of small cave. It's kind of winding back and forth. The stream below you, there's kind of mossy bits along the side. Every now and then, there's some more mushrooms, a couple of them glowing and everything. So you can kind of see the way that you're heading and kind of the way that it's winding. And then Bagsby, up ahead of you, gets launched into the air and smashes into the ceiling.
Oh no.
And then a bunch of stalactites fall down and crunch right into that spot about where he was. So Bagsby is now a pile of bones scattered across the ground.
Yep. So I examine the stalactites and everything down here.
Roll. You have passive perception?
I do have a passive perception, yeah.
What? Yeah. What is? I meant like, do you have a specialty in it or what?
I don't have a specialty into it, but I do have a lot of investigation and stuff, which gives my overall perception pretty high.
Okay. Roll. Oh, well, I guess what would you like to do what you're saying? Like, you're looking at the things. Are you investigating?
I'll do an investigate just to be like what launched Bagsby into the air to begin with.
Okay.
So I'll roll that.
So, roll that.
That might be good enough. 13 total.
Okay, yeah. I mean, so you're looking at the ground, and the stalactites came down, so there's rubble everywhere. But you can notice a stone in the stream that was like slightly depressed into the ground. So there's like kind of like an edge around it, so it looks like it was pushed in.
Can I see any more of those yellow mushrooms that can be used as flotation devices?
I mean, there's some glowing ones around you.
Oh my God.
There's a few yellow polka dot ones.
Are we gonna float down the river?
No, I take
down,
I
down,
take
what he's
one of
gonna do.
those. I cast Find Familiar. Hold on, I actually might not be able to. Let me read the spell one more time.
Oh man!
It doesn't say I can only do it once a day, so yeah, I cast Find Familiar.
Okay. So the
What
bones.
level is that?
The bones.
It's a
kind
level
of
1 spell. It's like the very first spell that you get as a wizard.
Yeah, they kind of slowly roll and form together, and Bagsby this time kind of gets up and then hisses at you angrily.
I know, right? Turns out it was that rock over there, bud. You see? You see the one that's like depressed? Avoid those ones, okay?
I like to think that the rest of us have caught up and we're seeing this now, like obviously them arguing, and
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
like,
you only see like a one-sided argument. It's stuff
Because
like
they can't hear what you guys are saying to each other. So yeah, you see, because glowing thing in hand as you've picked up a new one. You do see Corvin arguing with Bagsby like hissing back, and Corvin you just hear like squawking in like weird,
me going like,
almost
what do you
meows.
Mean? What do you mean?
Yeah.
This is just like Cupar? No. That was a totally different situation. That was out of my control. Okay, this time this one's on you, bud. You stepped on that rock right there. Don't do that. Okay. I pick him up and I put him on the flotation device again. I give him a little nudge.
Aww. And he makes like one of those sad yowls.
Oh no, those are the worst.
They're the worst.
what just
Continues
happened?
floating down. Do you say that to Corvin or just to each other?
Just what happened?
Oh, so Bagsby got launched up into the air there and then kind of like shattered on the ceiling, causing all these stalactites to fall down. So watch out for those kinds of rocks that look like they're kind of pressure plates or something.
As you say that, you hear a sound further down ahead of you of a sort of snapping, like of a rope, and then you hear kind of like 20 or 30 like kind of sounds. And you see Bagsby once again kind of shattered, this time kind of thrown to one direction.
I think Bagsby found another trap.
Do you... Maybe... I just feel bad for Bagsby is all.
You don't deserve a familiar.
I mean, it's dead.
It could still feel something.
You just killed like 19 million spiders.
Because they were going to eat us?
You talk about justice, yet you do this to a poor cat.
That's a dead cat. It's a literal demon from hell.
I feel like you're far more crueler than what we did to those spiders.
You killed them. You caught. You chopped off some of their limbs, Christina.
Yeah, but now they're at peace. They're dead. You
Well,
keep
he's
bringing
always-
this one back.
Begsby's always dead, though, even when he's back.
We're going to talk about this later.
Okay.
At this point,
Hey, Begsby, what you find?
the pile of bones that fell to the floor kind of slowly like reforms itself, but it looks over at you and now it's doing like dead cat. You know,
Yeah.
it's just laying there and it's not gonna move.
Okay. So, again, I cast Investigation.
Okay.
Corvin is doomed to never roll anything higher than a 3, I think.
Okay.
So that's 11 total.
Okay. So yeah, as you're walking along, looking around for everything, the main issue that you're finding is that you can't really see very far ahead of you. So as you're moving, you're not really seeing the traps until you're like right next to them. So roll a dexterity real fast, or yeah.
Okay. Do dex roll, go. That's a nat 20?
Ooh. So yeah, but as you're going along, every time you tend to see one, you're able to sort of just really quickly react and kind of like jump and flutter over it or something, or kind of roll out of the way. You are still like kind of triggering the traps. You're just not getting hit by them yourself. The rest of the party, y'all have learned to keep your distance from wildcard Corvin. And so you're just hearing a lot of like explosions and crunches and all kinds of sounds, and like you're looking down and just every now and then you see like the silhouette of Corvin jumping with like light exploding behind him. So it's just this like bird silhouette constantly jumping out of the way.
So when I get to the other side of these explosions and I'm safe, I guess, I turn back to Christina and Cherry and Ravo and say, so just do that.
Okay.
So what are y'all doing? You're still, there's some distance between y'all and Corvin.
Well, did the traps like reset themselves? Is that what's happening?
Seems like if they murdered
roll-
Bagsby and then still were there to shoot at me, seems like they reset.
It sounded like they were consecutive traps.
Roll an investigation.
Okay.
Because you can see pretty well. You're looking down there. What'd you get?
Still
Oh,
rolling.
It's still rolling.
It's still rolling. It's the slowest.
That's right. It takes a bit. Okay.
Looks like
A 6.
What's that total?
Just a 6. I have nothing in investigation.
Okay. So yeah, as far as you can tell, you can't tell. Everything to you
it's
looks
safe.
like it did before. Yeah. So you're like, you didn't see the traps before, and you thought it was safe, and now you're just like, well, it looks safe.
Can
I
I
don't
cast,
trust that at all. I walk
Can I
over
cast
to Cherry.
investigation on my side of things?
Okay.
I also walked next to Cherry, and I was like, I don't trust that at all. And
That's
I
a-
also
It's a 24.
take a peek, and I start
A
investigating.
24.
Well.
Yeah,
Oh.
as far as you can tell, it looks like all the traps that you triggered have not reset. Like, it looks like everything is kind of, the boulders that have fallen are still in the ground. The stalactites that have fallen are still in the ground. The darts that have been shot are still in the wall, like that kind of thing. So, as far as you can tell, they shouldn't trigger again. Some of them maybe you're not sure, but at least as far as you can tell from where you are, none of the traps that you triggered should start again. Should go again.
Okay, so I relay that. I was like, I think it looks like the traps are done, y'all.
Oh, great.
And Cherry starts walking.
Okay. So, before you get too far, Christina, you were going to do something?
Oh, no, I was trying to help Cherry, but I guess it's fine.
You were like, everything looks great.
No. You
Everything
got to say
looks
what you were going to
fine.
do. You got to say what you were going to
I
do.
don't trust Corvin at all. And I also look, and I got a 1, so I'm guessing it's fine.
No, actually, you don't guess it's fine. You actually think there are traps everywhere.
Okay.
Like, you look at, like, nearly every stone, every little rock, everything like that. Like, you are paralyzed by the fear of walking through there because you know anywhere you step is dangerous.
I guess I'm going to live on this side of the road.
Yeah, so, okay, so Cherry starts walking. And you just kind of walk in a straight line all the way down to the edge, and you reach Corvin.
Jay, you made it. Good job.
We did.
So, Christina, roll a, let's say, let's do, I want to say Constitution, but let's do a Wisdom.
Okay. Ooh, that is just a 7.
Okay. So you're looking down the hallway or the cave, and you saw that Cherry made it across just fine. Right? You saw that. But you think that it's because Cherry knows where the tiny little steps are to step, and you didn't fully see it. And so you still don't trust it. You're like, it's still dangerous.
I want to cast, I think I can do this, Mage Hand. So I have it. And so I cast it like a few feet in front of me, and I basically use it to like pass over like the floor, trying to like press
like you're
anything.
Disturbing the floor a bit.
Yeah, disturbing the floor, pass it across the walls. So I'm using it as like if like, you know, just like a...
You're sweeping.
Yeah.
You're trying to trigger any traps.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So you start walking, and you're slowly going along as your little mage hand is kind of sweeping through, kind of bashing on the ground every now and then or something. You're checking everywhere, especially where you're going to be walking. And as you're doing it, you're noticing like no other traps seem to be triggering. There is like maybe 1 or 2 instances where you hit something like on the ceiling or on a wall that was very far away from where Corvin was. And it like, there's one that like shoots out a fireball. But you're far enough back that you're fine.
Yeah.
You know? Flies right through your mage hand.
Sweet. So I make it to the end. I'm like, I knew there was still traps.
I see you do that cool thing with Mage Hand. I cast Mage Hand. I hold it up. I'm like, well done.
Oh my god. I am not high-fiving you.
How often do you get to high five with Mage Hands?
What about a low 5?
Not high-fiving you.
Fine.
It goes for the low.
Fine.
I immediately dismiss it and I walk away.
Wow. All right, Reuven and Rabo walk through just fine.
R&R, come along.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so you've made it through this cavern into, so now you're in a very large open cave. You're on kind of the lowest, well, almost the lowest level it seems. There's a lot of land out in front of you, but everywhere, every near like a couple of spots, there are big holes where you can see that it actually goes deep.
It's like we're in a really big chamber in the cave.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then all around you see mushrooms that have grown to like massive sizes. Like they're going up the wall, like huge, like sycamore trees. And there's all different kinds of mushrooms around and all different kinds of shapes. And so it's this whole forest of all different kinds of flora that have all, evolved from mushrooms. So it's all, they fill each role in the ecology, but it's all mushrooms.
Wow, this place is beautiful.
I think this
I love it.
This is just like under your temple this whole time, Cherry.
Oh, wow. I should come back here one day.
So while you're in here, you also see a couple of creatures flying around, kind of peacefully, it looks like. There is some life.
Like large creatures, like humanoid size flying things, or
no, like little, like almost like small birds. They look more like bats.
Got
it. Tiny creatures on the ground, little rats and things like that.
Okay. Reuven, does this place look familiar at all? This is massive. It's kind of beautiful.
No, but it does look like some kind of a chamber. It's a really deep one.
Any?
I don't know, but depending on how deep it goes, there could be anything in here, or I don't know.
I turn to Cherry, and I'm like, Cherry, you said you could talk to them, right? Do you think you can at least get a direction that we should start heading into?
Yeah, I can see if that helps.
Okay.
I am going to cast a spell. Guess what? It's called Commune with Nature.
Okay.
Just thinking of
I just like the idea that Cherry has to actually do all of their spells in rhyme, like in a little song, in a little jaunt.
just reminded of Merle.
Yeah.
Speaking to plants.
So, yeah.
Commune with nature.
So, Cherry walks up to one of, like, the giant mushrooms and, like, puts her hand, like, on the mushroom stalk and is like,
Hi, mushrooms. It's me, Cherry, your boy. I just need to know, we're looking for a village that's close by, and if you wouldn't mind just sort of pointing us in the direction, that'd be really helpful. Or if you know where it is, you could lead us. Well, whatever you've got time for. Thank you.
Okay, so you do that, and as you communicate, it's not like you're hearing things. It's like you smell things, and it's like this whole like experience. You feel that the mushrooms don't know where you're talking about. It seems like they don't extend very far from within here. It does sort of cast your attention to a couple of places around in the chamber. You see way up, kind of high, several stories. We're going to say like 5-6 stories above y'all. You see a sort of like a little tiny pathway that is, like a stone bridge that heads to a little kind of, it looks like a door, like almost like a cage door, sort of like bars and all that kind of stuff. So you see that up there, and the mushrooms are sort of telling you like that way, like out, like that's the way out.
okay.
And then it also leads your attention to a couple of other areas within the chamber, sort of like making you feel like, okay, there may be some more here that we're going to have to do. It might not be as easy as just getting out.
Okay. I relay all this information to the group, and then I also say,
Corvin, you're lucky because these mushrooms and their hyphae, they don't really spread beyond this chamber here, so they don't know about your little secret.
That is lucky. Thank you so much, Cherry.
I don't know about the other mushrooms, though. They probably all know.
Do they gossip? Are they gossiping mushrooms? Should I go back and tell them not to tell?
Well, it's too late now. You should have done that a long time ago.
I mean, you did throw that mushroom down the river. Maybe it's going to tell the others.
Oh my God! I find the little mushroom that I was using as flotation device, and I punt it.
Oh, it's definitely going to tell now.
Okay, so roll a dexterity, I think. No, roll a strength. Roll a strength.
Great. That's a nat 20.
Wow, really? Okay. Gosh, what do I do for that?
You weren't expecting that one, were you?
I had an idea for your fail that I was expecting. Okay, so you go to punt it, and as you do, it kind of bounces all around off of a whole bunch of stuff, and it lands over in a little corner where there's some water. And it's floating on top of this little pool, and in that pool you can actually see that there's kind of a cave down below that pool.
Oh. So, yeah, I see it like ping pong around, land, illuminate that little pool with the cave in it, and I then get intrigued and drawn over to it to look at what's going on with this cave. So I'm walking over there.
All right. Christina, Cherry, anything y'all are doing while Corvin heads that way?
No, I looked at Cherry. I was like, so obviously we're going to go that way, right?
Well, yeah, because the...
Wait,
In the
Which way
direction
are you-
of the door?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the...
Because mushrooms, they told me to go check out that path up there, so I think that should be maybe step 1.
And I think with step 2, we should stop him.
Maybe step 1 should be stop Corvin, and then step 2 should be go to the stone bridge. Bravo, what do you think?
I think that if you're going to want to stop him, you might have wanted to start already. And points, and Corvin is all the way over at this pool. And clearly the direction that y'all need to be going is the opposite direction. Y'all want to be going up, and there's these mushrooms that you think, okay, maybe we can kind of maneuver here, or there's a path maybe. You know that no matter what, you can see that's the way you want to go.
So what
Corvin's
you're
way over that way, looking in
Yeah.
this pool.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is it's probably too late. So we should just move on to step 2. Okay, that's a good idea. All right, let's go check out the stone bridge.
Okay, so y'all are over there. Corvin, what you doing over by this pool? There's the little kind of, we'll just call it a lantern mushroom.
Lantern
floating on
mushroom
top.
floating in this pool, and just so I'm clear, is the cave seemingly... I would need to dive to... Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. I guess I kind of just want to investigate and just sort of see before going into the water, do I see anything of interest about this cave? So I can...
You do notice that there is sort of a unique kind of almost like iridescent or sparkling kind of moss that's kind of forming on the edges, sort of, or almost like an algae bloom kind of situation. And it looks like it's emanating from underneath. Like you see little bits of it kind of pop up every now and then, little sparkles kind of coming back.
Let me see here. I turn behind me. I'm like, hey, y'all, there's a cool... Oh, they're gone. I kind of want to see where this goes, so... And I cast Find Familiar.
Oh my gosh. That poor
All right.
cat.
All right, but I know that we said no more water, but I mean, look at this. It looks cool, right?
You're holding Bagsby, and Bagsby's doing that thing where trying to wiggle out of your hands.
Listen, no, calm down. Once we get out of this cave, I promise all the rats and crickets that you can devour, all right? So...
And you see him kind of look at you suspiciously.
No. It'll be real this time. Real rats. No. It won't be like an illusion, okay? Real rats and crickets. But I kind of want to know what's down there first. And listen, I know that you don't like getting wet, but you're also just bones. So it's not like you have fur to worry about. All right? So I chuck...
Reluctantly,
I then just kind of chuck them into the water.
Oh no.
So first he kind of like paddles around on top a little bit, and then sort of, just gives up and then kind of swims underneath and heads over to the other side.
So as long as it's
you can
within,
see through, right?
I can see through him, and we can telepathically communicate within 100 feet.
Okay. He didn't have to go very far. And in this area, it's sort of like a small room where in the center of the room, there's like a little, like a series of roots that have kind of come up into like a little plinth almost. There's like a little hole in it. And all around you are also kind of roots in this kind of like crisscross pattern. It's very kind of orderly and ornate for being natural, because it's all clearly made up of the mushrooms and things forming this kind of like overgrown area.
Let me see here.
So it wouldn't be mushroom, or it would be mushrooms. It wouldn't be roots. Sorry, I meant mycelium, the mycelia kind of thing.
Okay, I'm trying to remember if I gave Cherry or Christina one of my business cards when I first met them.
Oh my God.
I'm not sure that I did. I'm just trying.
I don't think so.
Trying to figure out a way to communicate with them.
Well, did you give one to Ravo or to Reuben?
But not.
We're doing a little bit of a retcon here. If you want to say like, oh, of course, this is what Corvin would have done immediately.
Like
if you want to.
I maybe would have given one to Reuven.
Okay.
So through, let me look it up. Through this portfolio keeper, there is, when I give them a business card, I can essentially use it for up to 7 days as a sending stone to cast contact with the other side of that business card.
Okay.
So I whip out my portfolio keeper, my trapper keeper.
Oh my
God.
I look at the empty slot for that business card that I gave to Reuven, and I'm like, hey, hello, can you guys hear me? There's a cool thing in this water cave. This is Corvin, by the way. I gave you this business card. It's the business card talking.
So yeah, as soon as you start talking, Reuven is like, what is this? What is going on? What? Oh no, it's happening. Oh no. And then when you say it's the business card talking, sort of like starts scrambling and throws it on the ground and like backs away from it.
I immediately was like, whoa, what the hell? I pick up the card.
It's the water cave. The water cave, it's got like a mushroom connected thing on the other side of it. It seems like it might be an important place. Maybe Cherry would like to see it, I feel like.
Yeah, we can go see it, but we're gonna go check out this bridge first.
No, but okay. So
Why don't you just come back, follow the little mushroom trail?
I mean, okay, fine.
Just okay. All right.
Like, we're
so,
not in a rush. We can go see both places, but we're like up here, so you should come back to us.
Fine. Hold tight. Bagsby, stay.
Oh.
Okay. Bagsby stays.
And I try to make my way back to the group.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to follow. They left behind a little trail of the kind of glowy mushrooms. So y'all are heading up this stone pathway, essentially. And you, it's not fully connected all the way up to like the door, right? So it's like it kind of, from where y'all are, it kind of goes up a little bit in like a little kind of ramp kind of area. And then you see that like, okay, now there's a bunch of mushrooms that you could maybe maneuver yourself across, or there's like vine type mycelia hanging from the ceiling. There's all kinds of, structures in your way, forest related type things that you could think of between you and another stone area. So it's kind of like a little bit like mixed together, the pathway to get up there. So you've reached the top of the first stone ramp and you're kind of looking around for your next path.
Well, I cast Tree Stride.
Ooh.
Tree Stride. Okay, what does that do?
So I have the ability to enter a tree and move inside of it to another
Whoa.
tree. So if we're gonna take the mushrooms like they're trees, I'll just go into a tree and end up on the other side where the door is.
Okay, so
Transportation.
Yeah, Cherry is able to. You just sort of head over towards it, and just as Cherry do, very like nonchalant, kind of head up, and the mushroom tree in front of you is a very tall one. Just kind of like opens up, opens the like sort of like a fold opens, and then you just walk right in, and then it closes behind you.
I imagine there's a ding like an elevator.
Oh my god, yes.
Ding.
So imagine like that's when I arrived to see that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm on the mushrooms again.
Yeah, you like look around for the hallucinogenic ones. And then there's just like some elevator music.
It's like, oh, that's
then,
a
yeah.
nice tune.
Yeah, Cherry, you pop out like through the top of the mushroom and sort of like launch up a little bit and then like land on the very top of the mushroom. And yeah, in front of you, you could actually step off onto this area where the door is.
They do that.
Yep. Okay.
And then they turn around, because I'm assuming like it's like what, like 100 feet, or like how far away am I from everybody now?
Yeah, about 100.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
I yell back,
I made it to the door.
How are we going to make it to the door?
Can you open the door?
Well, I don't know that. You'll have to find a way up here.
Do you have any rope?
Can we use the tree evader?
No. You don't know
Was
how
that
to talk to them.
Was that no to the tree elevator or the rope?
Both. I mean, you can just climb the trees.
Let's see here. We can climb the big mushroom tree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just want to say, Christina could do something else.
Can
Yeah.
I? What do I have?
you can fly.
Oh, that's true. I completely forgot about that. Oh, it's been a while. Yeah, I do that. I just
figured,
do that.
I figured you forgot, so I just wanted to throw that out there. You've been hiding it for so long, you kind of forgot that it's out there now. You can use them wings.
Well, I don't have any rope. I turned to Reuven and Ravo, and I'm like, do any of you guys have any rope at all?
Let's see here.
Or is there anything...
Ravo,
Ravo?
as always prepared, Ravo, reaches in to... no. He unties it like it's a belt, like wrapped around him. So he just unties it from around him and then hands it to you.
I look at the rope and I was like, I'm trying to assess if this is enough rope.
Yeah. So it doesn't look like it's going to be enough, but it would certainly help close some distance.
Is there any like strong vines or stuff like some of that moss stuff that we've been seeing? Is it anything like that's pretty strong?
Yeah, I mean, how about this? You fly up. Are you willing to fly at the moment?
No, I could fly. I was just looking around first to like.
So yeah, well, so what I'm gonna say is that like, so you go up and you kind of test a bunch of the mycelium vines, essentially. You notice some of them kind of snap pretty easily. Others are a little bit tougher. So, it varies. You can tell, like, by the size, like, how they're going to kind of do. So, yeah, some of them look like they could be helpful.
Okay. So, the ones that seem the strongest, I cut down, obviously.
Okay.
And I cut, like, a few down, so I have an abundance of them. And I come back down. I'm like, Ravo, help me start tying these together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back up there, tie it to whatever's the strongest anchor point, and then we'll just pull each other up.
All right. And so, yeah, he immediately gets to kind of weaving together these into like a cord. Clearly, Ravo's done this before. Dude is, used to being out in the field. So it doesn't take too long. I mean, relatively, it would still take a little bit of time. But yeah, during that time, Corvin, are you doing anything?
I am observing. I'm assisting. I am watching Christina and Ravo create this sort of little rope pulley system that they have going on here.
Taking a managerial role.
But I'm also thinking that me and Christina could probably raise ourselves up via this rope pretty easily, just via our mage hand, rather than one person staying and raising the rope.
Okay.
So,
Good idea. Before any of that,
It only goes 30 feet.
well, are we raising ourselves more than 30 feet?
Yeah, he said it was like 100 feet.
yeah.
Oh my god.
So that's why they're making the other cord. So as you're there, Corvin, you're kind of like looking around the room, and actually over kind of on the wall, you notice kind of a weird shape kind of tucked into the wall, covered in fungus and moss and whatnot.
Okay.
And so it's very intriguing.
Sure. I get slightly closer to it, and I try to observe it. I try to investigate what I'm looking at.
Okay. So roll for investigation.
As 13 plus 8, 21.
Okay. So yeah, as you're kind of getting closer to it, you're doing your magnifying glass, all that kind of stuff. You start to notice kind of a shimmering of metal and whatnot, and you see the telltale signs of armor pressed into the side of this wall. And as you look a little bit closer, you see kind of at the top, there's this shape that, as you kind of investigate more, you see this mushroom sticking out of what appears to be a skull.
Okay.
And so you're kind of seeing a body pressed up into the wall with mushrooms kind of sticking out here and there. It's very much embedded into the rock by all of this stuff. And yeah, go ahead.
Well, I guess on the armor, or I guess from the face, am I able to tell? Like, was this what kind of person was this? Was this humanoid? Was it elven?
Yeah, definitely humanoid. You can't really you can't tell a whole bunch about it, but you do recognize that size and shape wise, a smaller person. So dwarven, gnomish, goblin, something in that range of size.
And am I able to, let me see here actually. Where is, sorry, let me find the spell here. I want to see if I can at least investigate the way that it's pressed up against the wall to determine the cause of death. And
Okay.
if it seems obvious that there's a physical thing, that it's been stabbed or something like that.
Okay.
Roll investigate?
Yeah. Go for it.
That's only going to be a 10 total.
10 total?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's too overgrown and there's just too much that's happened to it over the years. Like clearly it's been there for a while, and so you can't really make it out. At this point, it's just too far gone.
Okay. Sorry, give me minor illusion, illusory self.
If only you had speak with the dead.
I think I do. I'm trying to remember where the F I put it is the thing.
Well, while Corvin's doing that,
Yeah. You do something else. While I do this.
as Christina, I'm like, okay, Rava, do you think this is strong enough?
It's as strong as it's going to be, yes.
Okay, well, I take
At least there's the cushion of mushrooms, so...
Maybe we should
Shouldn't
put
be
some
that
more
bad.
mushrooms here, just in case we fall. So I grab the rope, and I fly up to the top, and I meet Cherry, and I'm like, hey, Cherry, is there any place we could tie this off? Is there any, other stone?
Yeah, I think we could use one of these over here.
We just find something
Just
to tie it
something,
to.
to tie it to. And I take the rope, and I lead it over the edge, and I kind of toss it down to Ravo. It's like, is it long enough? Does it stretch?
Real quick though, roll a perception.
Okay.
Actually, it's a
6 is
level
8,
3
14.
spell.
14?
I found out how
Okay.
I can do it now. I have a special way of doing it.
So, you're kind of tying this rope. There's not like a whole bunch of stuff around that you really see that would be too tough. Except for there is one rock that's kind of like sticking out. It's big enough, so you figure you can tie it around there, and it should be fine. You throw it down, and it doesn't fully reach all the way down, but it's significantly closer. It seems like people wouldn't have to climb too far or whatever to get up there. So you're definitely in a better spot. And Ravo yells up. He's basically, I think it'll work.
All right, well, I guess let's start getting up here. I don't know if Corvin's strong enough to get up here, so we'll have to tie him and then just drag him up.
All right. So Ravo goes first, knowing Ravo's the strongest and can probably get himself up there better than anybody else.
It's like gym class. He's just crawling up.
Yep. So yeah, he is able to crawl pretty well up the side of the mycelium because he's clawing into it. Goes up a couple of levels on it. There's big mushroom pads. There's small mushroom pads. You jump on some. You climb over to others, and gets up to where the rope is. Kind of pulls on it, and then seems like it's strong, and slowly starts climbing his way up. Corvin, you're still down on the ground in front of the body. Reuven is still down there.
Oh, Reuven's with me? Okay. Or
Reuven's waiting essentially for Ravo to get to the top.
Waiting for over by that area. Yeah. Okay. I am inspecting this body, having tried to inspect it for signs of physical altercation and seemingly not seen any. I start to roll up my sleeves.
Okay.
And I shudder a little bit because I hate doing this. But there was, I'm sort of like remembering to myself that even though this was a spell that I never learned, I never had tried to study for this, just one day, these tattoos appeared on my arms. And I realized, especially as I was investigating things, that I could do this. And essentially, Corvin kind of does a little pattern with these two tattoos on his arms. Kind of like the movie Constantine, if you've ever seen it.
I was going to say Doctor Strange, but okay, yeah.
And the tattoos start to glow, and essentially Speak with Dead gets cast.
Okay.
There's for anyone curious, there's a thing called Spell Rot Tattoo that holds a spell within the tattoo. And it's
pretty neat.
So that's how Corvin's able to cast Speak with Dead.
Yeah, so you cast it, and what do you say?
So I raise, this person gets raised up, and I speak to it, and I was like, "Hello, I am speaking to you beyond your death, and I would like to know and help you get revenge if needed, or get justice for your death. What killed you?"
So, slowly it starts to like creak and kind of pull a little bit as it like loosens itself against the wall, but it can't fully get out. So, you kind of got this skull that turns towards you and half the jaw is missing, but it's still talking to you because that's how it works. But it's not making a ton of sense. You're speaking you can now hear the language and whatnot, and it's clearly like an old kind of dwarven dialect, but clearly split off from dwarvish. Dwarvish. So, obviously you can understand it because of the nature of how you and language work. But you pick up on that detail.
Okay.
But essentially it just keeps repeating itself. And it's saying sort of, it's all over the place and jumbled, but it's sort of like the king is mad, the food was tainted. The king is mad, the food was tainted. Like over and over and over again, something to those effects. And then after a little while, it kind of trails off, and then you see the bones start to like rattle and shake a little bit, and it fully pops out of the wall. And then it looks up at you, and it just says, "The Lord of Bones seeks an audience." And then it falls into a whole shattering of bones.
And I would like to know more about the Lord of Bones.
Lord of Bones. I get a little bit like Corvin looks visibly spooked at the mention of that, and then just sort of like silently walks back over to where Christina and Ravo had been pulling themselves up. Yeah, and I completely like unpower my tattoo or whatever.
Okay, yeah. Doesn't seem to be working too well anymore.
Yeah.
I look down and I'm trying to figure out, like, I was like, hey, Reuben, you're next. Let's go.
So, yeah, Reuven actually kind of saw that last bit of what happened. And so is just sort of staring in your direction, Corvin.
Yeah.
But then Christina kind of says Reuven's name, and he sort of like snaps out of it and, makes his way up. He's pretty agile. So he seems to be able to kind of like jump up and kind of get from place to place pretty well. And there's actually a moment where you see him jump into a shadow.
Ooh.
And you kind of, you guys can see him, Corvin, you can't. But he sort of fades out and then appears up, higher up from another shadow, kind of leaping out of it and then bouncing towards y'all.
What?
And then, Corvin, what do you do?
I guess, is there still a rope dropped, or no? Then yeah,
Christina pulls it back up so Corvin can't.
Just leave him here.
What I do, if it's just I grab onto the rope a little bit, and I see how difficult it might be to try to have myself climb, and it seems very difficult. So I do, in fact, do mage hand to help climb for me. I have one mage hand pull me up, the other one just holds me still. Mage hand, back and forth.
I was going
like
to say,
that.
I like the idea of them kind of just like holding up your buns.
I was just thinking, you just tie the rope around you and we just pull you up.
Yeah.
No. I got this. Mage hand. Mage
Like
hand
a sad
style.
little bird,
I
just
dig
pull you
it's
up.
like it's almost like a Ms. Marvel kind of thing. Got them big hands. Okay, so there's no issues climbing up there. Y'all made it pretty stable at this point. You got Ravo stabilizing it up there, so it's pretty solid. So yeah, y'all are all up there. You see kind of the caged door in front of you.
Yeah, I help Bravo collect the rope so that we can basically use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Grab it, and he wraps a bunch of it around him, and then obviously there's the extra, so he starts wrapping it kind of in a cross across him until it's all on there.
Thank you so much, Bravo. That was super helpful.
Glad I had it.
Me too.
So you never leave home without a rope.
Apparently, where are we? I turn around to look at the door. And
Oh yeah, are
I
we
look
up
at
with
Cherry,
Cherry
it's
now,
like-
or is Cherry still on the other side of the door?
No, you're all up there.
Yeah. So where do we go from here?
Well, the mushroom said that this was the way out, so I guess we just have to find a way to open this door, or maybe it is open. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet.
Okay.
I go up to the door and try and open it.
do you seduce
The door does not open.
Yeah, it's locked.
Can we like look at the door as like let's see. I wish we had a way to pick this lock. I look at the lock just to see how old it is. It's like, is it something we could like break open?
It looks pretty rusty. It looks pretty,
Investigate.
busted up.
So like a 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're looking at the lock, and as you're looking at it, you're actually kind of puzzled because, as far as you can tell, the lock shouldn't be working. It looks pretty old. It looks like this door should just fall off of its hinges, but it persists.
Can I give it like a good shake just to see if it will like knock off? Needs like a strength check. Ooh, 15.
Okay. So you go to grab it and shake it, and as you do, you feel a burst of energy kind of hit you in the chest. So roll. Actually, you know what? Now it's not even going to be a roll. You could do a wisdom roll if you like.
Oh, that was low. 3.
Okay. So, you grabbed onto it, and then you felt this kind of rush hit you, and you get launched off of it. And as you do, you're realizing that you're kind of covered in this sort of powder, this blast of powder, which is clearly some kind of set of spores, and you fall back onto one of the mushroom caps, and you actually can't move. You are paralyzed at the moment.
Can I not talk either?
You're slowly falling off of this mushroom cap, unable to do anything.
Okay.
Cherry runs over and casts lesser restoration. Christina.
Okay. Do you have to be touching for that one?
Oh yeah, it's a touch spell. So
okay. So how do you get to Christina, who is like
I guess
falling?
How far is she? She's like falling off like a cliff area, or
Yeah, falling off of one of the mushroom caps, basically down. She's gonna fall pretty far. There's another mushroom cap down there, but there's a good chance she'll keep falling after that.
Well, can I
who
reach
knows how
up
far
and
down it goes?
touch her, or is she like out of my touch right now?
Well, right now she's below you because you're up on the
How far?
top thing, and she's
so
falling.
I'm a little confused because it fell.
Yep.
I thought we were like on a balcony, and I just got knocked back. Did I actually fall off the balcony?
Yeah, you fell backwards. There was no balcony. It's like an open stone area, so like there's nothing that would keep you up if you fell back. So
Okay.
it's basically like you fall back over a cliff, essentially.
And how far is Christina down from where my level is?
Not too far at the moment, maybe 10 feet.
Oh, I don't have 10 feet.
I like to imagine that at some point someone looks to me for any bright ideas on how to solve Christina. I just shrug. It's like, she can fly.
I look at Ravo and I'm like,
Hold on to me.
Okay.
and then I'm like trying to reach down and touch Christina.
Okay, so you're reaching down. Ravo is kind of holding on
Yeah.
to the rock. You're
Holding on to Dwayne Johnson?
You're close. Yeah, he's holding on to Dwayne. Dwayne's got him though. The rock's always got you. So you're reaching down. You're pretty close. You're like almost right there, and Christina is like slowly falling off of this thing. Got anything else?
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be that far. Couldn't you just like jump down onto the mushroom itself and grab me?
Yeah, Cherry lets go of Ravo and sort of falls into the mushroom and
Okay.
touches Christina.
So yeah, you are falling, and you're able to grab Christina and kind of like get that restoration off, and you're both kind of still plummeting. Christina, though, you're feeling like a little bit of motion again. What do you do?
I guess I use whatever strength to like start flying with holding on to Cherry.
Okay. Do a strength roll.
Oh, thank God. 15.
Okay. Yeah. So you start flapping your wings, and it takes a little bit for them to kind of
to
get
like
going.
keep us like from plummeting.
So you start flapping,
Yeah.
and so like you kind of come to a slow descent, and
And-
then you kind of like rest onto
Like
one
the
of the
closest
mushroom
caps that's like
Yeah.
stable enough.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, thank you, Cherry. And I hug them really tightly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, don't do that. don't touch that door, obviously. And I yell up back. It's like, don't touch the door. And I'm like, that was awful. Thank you.
Of course.
Um,
That's what friends are for.
of course. I am so happy that we've met you, Cherry.
I'm so happy to have met you.
seeing as you could just use these mushrooms to travel, I guess we'll go back up to the rest of the group.
Well, I can't anymore. I'm too tired to.
Okay, well, we got the rope, and I yell up to Ravo. I was like, Ravo, you still got that rope? Of course you do.
Already on it.
yes.
It's already like mostly the way down.
I grab the rope and I grab Cherry and I'm like, here, and I tie it around her waist or their waists, and I'm like, okay, let's start. Just hold on, and Ravo will, pull you back up.
Okay.
So yeah, Bravo's slowly lifting you up. As you're coming up, you all are in front of this magical door. Cherry, you sort of start to receive more from the mushrooms around you, right? And they kind of are like chittering a little bit, like, we told you not to do that. But then your attention is turned once again to all of the other areas that you could maneuver, right? It's reminding you the extent of this area. But you also
Go ahead.
feel a shudder. And there's looking down below, deep into the chasm. You can kind of see some stuff moving. You're not sure what it is, but it certainly looks disturbed.
Okay. I relay this to the group.
So maybe we have to go check out the other areas first, and maybe that will give us some clues to help open this door. But also, there's something down below, and I don't know what it is. But I don't think it's happy.
There's something down below?
Yeah. I don't know. They described it as like a shaking or a shuddering, and so like that doesn't seem good.
That doesn't seem good. No.
No. So we should be careful.
And Cherry, you can actually start to feel. You're not sure, like there's something where it's like you can almost feel what it is. And what you feel, like you just feel kind of an emotion. And it's very rage-filled and very frustrated. And that's about it for now. So I'm thinking maybe we take a pause here, take our quick break.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then we'll come back and we'll continue from there.
Sounds good. Sure. With the shaking and the shuddering.